And we're recording. I did that really weird. It has been a little time since we've done a record.
Tim did the Wayne's World, where you start the countdown and then you just point.
Yep.
But he went to 2. You're only supposed to go to 3.
I know. I messed it up. But you can go to 2.
Swing.
Oh my god. I think the last time we talked about a Mike Myers movie.
Bohemian. Different Mike Myers.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. But yeah, we've
yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about Halloween.
No, you're right. That as well. We talked about Mike Myers and Halloween.
So basically what we learned is that Freddie Mercury has layers.
He does. Like an onion.
Like an onion.
Which they're going to remake, apparently.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what Universal has to do with that.
Certain things you just don't touch.
Yeah. I mean, they made like 20 sequels. You don't really need to do like more Shrek.
I think there were only 2 sequels.
There's 5 movies. There's 5 Shrek movies.
No, there's not.
I'm pretty sure there's like 4 to 5 Shrek movies.
Really?
Yep. Not all of them were great. In fact,
wow.
Probably most of them weren't.
I just blocked them out.
One of them had Justin Timberlake in it.
Yeah, that was the 3rd.
I think so, but then they did, I think, like 2 more after that.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well.
Yep.
RIP.
Yep. They'll just keep making them. Just keep pushing them out there.
The problem is there's no reason. There's no reason to remake it. They just keep doing this. How does nobody teach them a lesson?
You know who's really going to teach them a lesson? Disney, because they're making Lion King.
Well, I can't even imagine that. Despite the Jungle Book being really good, was it successful?
It made money.
Did it make enough money? Because that's not cheap. That's a lot of CG animals.
It is not.
Sick animals.
Maybe that's where they were like, well, we can use these in Lion King. We've got the CG animals from Jungle Book. Let's just throw them right there in the Lion King.
I don't know if it's the same ones.
Same ones. We got tigers, lions, orangutans,
bears. I don't remember any giraffes.
I'm sure there was some giraffes somewhere.
I feel like you're mistaken.
Panthers.
There's definitely a giant snake.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Scarlett Johansson.
Her name was Scarlett Johansson. Yeah.
And that was a lot different than the original. I don't know, because we were talking about it a bit, and it does look like a shot-for-shot remake for the trailer.
Yeah.
But I think the movie will probably have some differences.
I don't know. James Earl Jones going Simba. Remember.
Yeah, it's Jon Favreau, so it's the same guy who did the Jungle Book. It's not even like it's a different team.
Yeah, that's true.
It is a guy who is known to make things different, and Disney has 3 of them, right? Doing? They have that. They have Dumbo, and I'm blanking. What's the 3rd one? Is it Aladdin? Aladdin. Those are all next year.
Yeah.
And that's really putting all your eggs in one basket.
And honestly, they'll just keep doing it. As long as there's, like, Beauty and the Beast was a success, Cinderella was a success, like, they'll just keep doing it.
But Wreck-It Ralph is a success right now, right?
Yeah.
So why do they need to? Why not just invest the money in new, great Disney animated films?
Oh, they're doing that too?
You know what failed? Pete's Dragon. I bet that remake failed.
I think that one did fail.
So,
I think it's... But, it's just like they're playing the numbers. It's like, you make enough, bad movies, one of them is going to be good.
I guess if you just make your money back, if you're Disney, does it even matter? Because you have so much, it's never going to affect you.
Exactly.
So for every Tomorrowland, there's an Avengers.
That's right. And all the Avengers are successful.
Yeah, even all the Star Wars movies have been successful. I think Solo even made its money back.
I think it made some of the money back.
Not all of it?
Not really. It didn't do that well.
Not even with the ad revenue? Like Taco Bell presents Han Solo? I'm sure there was something like that. Papa John's Solo.
Furry tacos for Chewbacca.
Yeah. Chewbacca Chalupa?
Yeah.
I didn't
know. What surprised me? The fact that they fired, was it Lord and Miller? Or no, who were the 2 guys who were on it?
The Lego Movie guys?
The Lego Movie guys that they fired.
To bring in Ron Howard.
I know. They kept the Chewbacca Han
Chewbacca,
Solo,
Flock of Flames.
yeah, Flock of Flames. They kept that like where they meet for the first time. That was their idea, like the whole thing that Han Solo spoke, whatever Kashyyyk or Wookiee or whatever, like that whole meeting thing, and then the pit or whatever, feed it to the beast. Like that was all theirs. So I'm just like, what did they really like? What did Ron Howard do? What did they do that they didn't like? You know, it just seems like what did they throw out? What did they keep? I'd be very interested to know what like that whole
Was
thing
the really Dark War stuff him?
Yeah.
That was Ron Howard, is what I'm saying, or was that the Lego Movie guys?
That was the Lego Movie guys. How he meets Chewbacca. That was all.
So that's weird.
Yeah.
It's almost like, well, that explains a lot of then why they replaced them, because they expected the Lego Movie guys,
Yeah.
and they ended up with every other Steven Spielberg film.
True.
So, like, not, and by every other I mean, like, the even-numbered ones that he makes. So it's like, he does a great sci-fi thing, and then he's like, war movie!
Right.
And then he does a great sci-fi thing or action thing, and he's just like, Lincoln!
Yeah.
So they wanted the great comedy action.
Right.
And instead they got the Lego Movie guys attempting to make Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
And it works.
Like,
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I actually was like okay with it. Like at that point, like the whole like the train, the magnetic train heist, like everything seemed like okay until like just like little things here and there that they kind of like messed up on. Like it did have like fun space adventures. Like the best like Donald Glover like kills it. And
really?
like
He was the one I didn't like.
Really? I think he did an amazing job. Like he kind of like he bought like Lando, but like a younger version of Lando before he becomes like super cool Billy D. Williams. Like he's still cool, but in like a younger, like cockier way. I think he did a great job.
I don't know.
He had a lot of
and I like him too. I like his show, was Atlanta. And I like Community.
Yeah.
I even liked a few of his songs.
Childish Gambino.
But I don't know. I just didn't. Something about him. I didn't like him in the role.
All right. I think he did an amazing job. You can, was it the robot stuff? Was it the fact that him and his robot were doing it?
He just felt. No, it wasn't that. He just felt like stiff.
Okay.
Everybody else is there, kind of having fun,
mm-hmm.
and he just felt like he wasn't having any fun. And they're in bad situations most of the time he's there, but there's definitely some fun to be had.
Well, that also could be maybe he was like he was more fun when the other guys were around, and now it's just like we'll have to reshoot this movie with Ron Howard.
And that could be, but that's why I say, in this cut of the film, the one that they put in theaters, I didn't really like his character.
Okay.
I mean, he was fine. He did a great Billy D. impression.
Yeah. All right. Don't like it.
I just didn't like him. I went in expecting to like him a lot and to hate the guy playing Solo.
Yeah.
I expected to hate him because the only thing I'd seen him in was the darn Coen Brothers movie, Hail Caesar.
Right.
Where he played like Roy Rogers. And I expected to despise him. He was terrible in that role. But yeah, he did great.
Yeah, he did okay.
They had to have like speech. What did they have to have dialect coaches and all for this guy? Really? I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, they had people come in and teach him how to sound like a guy. They had acting coaches
to make him sound like
how to sound human.
Like Harrison Ford?
Yeah, no, how to sound human because he didn't even sound like Harrison Ford.
Okay.
I guess he's too much of a robot.
That's weird. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. That was one of the other problems. They had so many problems on set that they had to know beforehand, which is why I don't think it was advertised heavily, which is why it flopped.
Yeah. I mean, they still had some pretty good advertisement for it.
Yeah, but most of it was like car commercials where they only showed Chewbacca.
True.
Where were the porgs?
Where were the porgs? They hadn't found the porgs yet.
And I would say it's a better movie than Episode 8.
You like that better than Episode 8?
Yeah.
Alright. I can see that.
Episode 8 is like the hot topic of Star Wars movies.
What and how does that explain how that works?
The Kylo Ren, just spoiler alert, just becomes the ultimate emo kid.
All right.
He's like, he even has that line in the movie. He's like, we're done with the past. I want to destroy I want to destroy everything. He just wants to take over.
Yeah, he wants to kind of like, burn the past down.
Nobody ever listens to him.
Right.
Because he has a lot of Good Charlotte albums or whatever's popular for that now.
Okay.
Bullet for My Valentine, I'm sure, is one of them.
All right.
And he just wants to hang out with his new girlfriend who's not even interested in him.
Well,
and she cry a bunch.
She was kind of interested. She wanted to bring him back.
She wanted to, but then he couldn't burn it all down. He wants to destroy the world.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how that feeds into the next one.
Which makes no sense, Tim, for that character. Let's go into this for a second.
Oh man, quick. Here we go.
His whole thing, right, throughout the first episode 7, is that he wants to be the next Lord Vader. Right. And there's just this ultimate switch for no reason in episode 8 where he destroys the helmet and just doesn't want to be that anymore. He just he's given up on all that, destroy the entire past. Okay. Why?
Because he got his butt kicked.
So?
Found out it's not he's not so bad.
Yeah, but he decides to destroy it for no reason. He's winning at that point.
All right.
He's got Snoke.
Yes. Supremely.
He's got Andy Serkis right there.
That's right.
And everybody's happy, and he's just like, well, gonna destroy stuff for no reason. Because I have a crush on this girl that Snoke created?
Well, we don't even know that whole thing yet.
That's the only problem I have with that movie is I don't like Kylo Ren's arc at all. Yeah. Because the arc is just... It's like Rainbow Road in Mario Kart. Okay. It's all over the place.
All right. But we're getting off track. We've seen some
Mario
movies
Kart
since
joke, I get
Mario Kart. Yes, we're getting off track. Nothing better than when you point out a segue to a, So we've been seeing a few movies lately. We went and saw Overlord, which speaking of Saving Private Ryan, that beginning that opening sequence. Just spoiler alerts for anybody who goes to see it. I would put on par with the opening to Saving Private Ryan, where they're storming the beach. That was the prequel to that, where it's hey, we're gonna drop into I guess Normandy. It's in France.
It's in France. It's near Normandy.
They're behind the lines, kind of basically getting, which I think is what the I want to say the 101st did. I know they did an airdrop in, which was the whole thing. They were airdropping in to get behind the Nazis that were dug in on the beach
to take out this radio tower.
Take out the radio tower,
so they could come in and bomb something.
Yeah, so they wouldn't be able to report pretty much the Normandy invasion kind of thing. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. They did a lot of real war kind of stuff, and also just out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere, but Nazis experimenting and making weird zombie monsters.
Zambambos.
But
they're not even Zambambos.
They're not. Yeah. That was the whole thing. Everybody's oh, it's Nazis and zombies and stuff, but it's not. It's more weird, super Resident Evil kind of monsters.
It's very T-virus.
Yeah, I was about to, they kind of get super strong, and you can't really kill them, but they still kind of themselves. That was the kind of the thing.
The one can definitely think, because he just wants. Right. Well, several of them can.
Yeah.
Oh, that one where it's just a head.
The woman talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Hey, that... Spoiler alert. That voice you hear in all of the trailers that's is it saying help me, s'il vous plaît?
I think so, yeah.
That is one of the most memorable things in the film.
Yeah. I have to say that was that's well done, because I don't think I've seen that in a while.
Maybe RoboCop, the new one.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the few reasons that movie is still remembered.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it would just be a remake that everybody forgot.
Yep. And they're going to remake it again.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
We'll see. But yeah, I definitely recommend this. Like, the stuff they did, the main character is great. His arc of, like, they make the troops that he's with make fun of him because he wouldn't kill a mouse back in the barracks. So it was like, how are you going to fight this war? How are you going to kill Nazis when you can't even kill a mouse, kind of thing. But it's just like, it's really good and intense and very well done.
Do you know who his, like, captain or his leader is? The blonde guy?
No.
In real life?
No.
And it makes so much more sense now that you'll know. That's Kurt Russell's son.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
He looks so much just like him, and the whole time I was watching the movie, I was like, why does this guy look familiar?
I thought he kind of looked like a little bit like Kurt Russell in The Thing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why.
Yeah.
So if they ever make a new Escape from New York, they've got the perfect actor.
Exactly.
Just like...
Call me Snake.
Call me Snake.
Yeah.
And he did a great job. Everybody in it was really great.
And well acted, like, just really well done.
The main villain, he's so menacing.
Yeah. And it's funny because you kind of, like, they capture him at first, but even, like, the whole thing where we're going to spoil the crap out of this movie, but there's, like, a scene where they kind of catch him. He has a bag over his head, but he manages to grab a gun off a guy and shoot him, but then, like, he's just shooting in random directions. It's so good. And the girl who the girl from the village,
girl? Yeah.
she does an amazing job. Like, I think it's all really well done.
Yeah, and it's almost like they gave somebody with talent a B movie.
Yeah.
And they just said, here, make this the best darn B movie you can. And B movies, I guess, aren't really a thing anymore.
Right.
But there used to be a thing where you would just make, like, budget movies, and they came out on VHS or DVD.
Or now it would be like,
Netflix, maybe
Netflix, or just like, something that's like direct to iTunes.
Yeah, and it was just a way to make your money back, maybe some return, and get your art out there. But now, like, this is that, and it's just, like, well executed. It's, like, perfectly executed. I don't think there's really any flaws in it.
Yeah. Like, honestly, if they would have just made this... If they would have taken the zombie element out of it, it would have just been a great war movie. Like, I was just like, I would have watched them try to blow up this tower. These are all great characters.
And they absolutely could have.
Yeah. Like, there's no... honestly, the zombie aspect of it adds, like, a little bit more and a little bit more interest. But if this was just a straight, like, World War II movie, it would have made perfect sense to me. I was like, yeah, alright. This totally makes sense. But,
I agree.
The zombie element just adds just a little bit more to it, and it makes it a little bit more fun.
And it's crazy that it's Cloverfield. I'm still convinced it's Cloverfield.
I don't think so, but if there's some weird... I'm sure there's Cloverfield references in there. Like, people probably have already gotten, like... Their name of their troop was this, and that's from Cloverfield, or blah blah blah, or this was the Cloverfield's. This guy has the same last name as this character from Cloverfield.
I'm sure it's completely disconnected, but
yeah,
it originally, the rumors were that it was. And
yeah.
Now everybody's coming out claiming it never was, but it could make perfect sense in the thing that creates the monsters.
Right.
Is harvested from underground, just like supposedly in the marketing they put out for Cloverfield, the movie.
Right.
Is what creates or what nurtures the Cloverfield monster itself.
Right. Yeah. So it's not. Nobody's kind of saying if it's Cloverfield or not.
No, they're saying it's not.
They're saying it's not, but very well it could be.
But it could have just been that they got scared off by how unsuccessful Paradox was.
Right. And they were probably like, well, I think this could stand on its own. We don't need to do a heavy Cloverfield tie-in.
And then the question becomes, would it have harmed the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Would it have made it perform less well?
Yeah.
And it could have.
It could have.
Because Paradox was very hated.
Yeah. Which I think it was... Paradox wasn't like a terrible movie. It had some interesting stuff to it, and...
It spent forever in development hell.
Yeah.
That was the problem. It was 6 years or whatever it took to make it.
Right. So, I don't know. But Overlord, very well done. From start to finish, I have to say there wasn't like a moment I didn't really enjoy in it. Yeah.
Agreed.
Gives you all the horrors of war and the being a zombie.
And some Bokeem Woodbine for about 5 minutes.
Yes.
For no reason.
Sure.
I mean, he's definitely still doing movie roles. Because he was in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Strange. Just thought I'd point that out.
Okay.
I don't know why he was there. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like 10 Cloverfield Lane, let's say.
Right.
Where Bradley Cooper is randomly the voice that she's talking to on the phone at the beginning.
Right.
Or in, Cloverfield Paradox, where Donald Logue is the guy telling you what's happening for no reason.
Yeah, that is kind of strange.
Yeah, it's almost like they had a thing going.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
The cameo thing. What other famous movies do we know with giant monsters that are famous for their cameo? Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah, just saying.
And I can't wait for that one to come out.
Godzuki?
Godzuki.
Destroy All Monsters?
Godzuki 2. I'm waiting for it because they've already... I believe they started shooting Kong vs. Godzilla now.
Nice. So they're past the second one and on to the third.
Right.
Okay. They're headed for home.
They're going for it.
Are they going to do a Kong setup for how he gets there, or is that just going to be in Godzuki 2?
I don't know. I imagine it's probably going to be in Godzuki 2. It's like, hey, guess who else is like come out? Oh, look, it's King Kong.
It's a giant ape.
Which I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, is this whole movie a big setup fight? Is it not like this is not going to be the end fight between Godzilla and Ghidorah and like all that stuff?
So you would say you're worried that the entire movie would be a random plot device to set up a bunch of sequels.
Yes.
Speaking of best segue ever.
Yeah.
No, should we do we talk
about
it?
Yeah, we haven't talked about it. So Overlord was something we saw, but you saw...
I saw the film Fantastic Beast, 2?
Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yep.
The Johnny Depp one.
The Johnny Depp one.
Because the first
Albino Johnny Depp.
Albino Johnny Depp. The first one was normal-looking Colin Farrell.
Right.
And had a plot.
Yes.
And this just served to have a plot later.
Yeah.
There's nothing that happens in this movie that makes sense.
All right, that's good review.
I mean, it is a giant waste of time.
All right. If not even if you're a Potter fan.
No. Here's the problem. I think Potter fans are the ones who will hate this movie.
Right.
And is this movie not for Potter fans, or is this movie made to create new Potter fans? And if it is, then it makes no sense to have the entire plot center around Dumbledore?
Yeah.
For the future? Because he wasn't in the first one.
No.
You don't know who he is. And Newt Scamander he's in this, but he's really, he's not even a character at this point. He's just that autistic guy that hangs out there.
So he's like, that's strange that they did that, because I would figure that he would get more of a development in this one.
No.
What about the love interest? Kind of like any of that stuff?
No. Sorry, I threw up in my mouth. This is the dumbest backstory for a love interest ever. So he has a brother now?
Well, they mentioned the brother in the first one.
Okay, well his brother's a famous orar?
Yeah, like he was apparently in the war or some blah, 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 blah.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. And he's engaged to this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, this woman has a name you'll find out halfway through the movie. everything. I hate it. I hate it because here you are, you have this giant open universe to explore and create within, right?
Right.
And everything has to be so Harry Potter. Like, everything has to be related. So is it like a case of we're dropping names, but we don't have an actual story? Well, yeah, but they have a story for her that makes some sense.
Okay.
Her last name, so his brother is engaged.
Right.
And he gets engaged fairly recently to a woman whose first name I'll never remember, and it doesn't really matter. But her last name is what's important, which is Lestrange.
Oh, okay.
And it's not Bellatrix.
It's not Bellatrix. She'd be too young.
No. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter because age doesn't work the way it does in the real world in Harry Potter.
That's true.
Because Dumbledore's like 158.
Right.
He's got a gray beard in this one, in the 20s.
Yeah, it's Jude Law. It's a handsome man.
I guess.
He's working that beard.
But... So, like, and the, what is it? The love interest in the first one, Goldstein, what's her first name? Is it Tina? Or is Tina the sister? Queenie? Is Tina Queenie?
No, I can't remember.
Rita?
It might have been Rita.
Whatever. The non-blonde one, the brunette.
Yeah, the non-blonde? 4 non-blondes?
Yes. Way to reference a band from the 90s that nobody has heard of.
I know.
Since 94.
I know, but I just, like, it was just hanging there. I was just like, I have to take a swing at that one.
One of the 4 non-blondes in this movie, as Tim has pointed out.
Yes.
No, the Goldstein that he was in love with in the first one, randomly hates him because she reads an article that says that he's engaged, and in this wizarding world, this is the only article they ever put out without a picture that moves.
Oh.
So she thinks it's him and not his brother, and then she just hates him for whatever reason. And
when she reads it, it's not
No,
Newt.
It says his name.
Oh, it says Newt.
It says Newt Scamander instead of whatever Scamander.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
So it was just a mix-up.
Yep. And that's like whatever.
Okay.
Everything about this movie is stupid. Like, it's just...
Are there Fantastic Beasts?
You know what?
2?
There's Fantastic Beasts for the first half hour.
Right.
And then there's a couple Nifflers, and that's about it. Oh, and that stupid twig.
The twig that helps him out.
Yeah, the one that lives in his pocket.
Yep. Did they go inside his case again?
They do?
Okay.
No. Yes. For a second.
Oh, okay. I mean, that was the part that was that's the thing that I don't think they'll be able to capture in a sequel is the first part where it's like going inside the case, seeing all the animals that he has and like all that stuff. I think that was a great part of the first one.
You know what it is? This movie was made to be like it's almost as though J.K. Rowling, when she was, I assume, paid very handsomely to write this,
right?
Said like, why bother? Like, just the entire movie is why bother? So just slap it together.
But this could also be a case of, and I have a feeling this is what happened, is she wrote the first one. She kind of had like how that was all going to go in the first one, and then she kind of had like an outline for the second and third ones, and then just kind of handed it off to a screenwriter. And the screenwriter kind of like put their own spin on things. And been like, this is going to take too long to develop. Let's just, iron over some stuff. I don't know.
You think?
Could be. She's like, I got to write some Broadway shows. I got no time.
But she had already written that. No.
We don't know how long Fantastic Beasts has been...
to allow this.
We don't know how long Fantastic Beasts has been in development.
Not more than 2 years, because that movie, the first one, came out 2 years ago.
All right.
It's terrible.
So, you're unhappy.
It's the prettiest garbage film.
Right.
It is a beautiful dumpster fire.
Yeah, because I'm sure, like, even from the trailers, I could see, like, the effects look great, the costumes look great. Like, that stuff is always going to, like, they'll carry it on that. But if you don't have a good story, then it's not worth watching.
There are characters that just don't even need to be there. Like, I hate them all. I hate all of them. Like, I don't even... There's nothing redeeming about Newt anymore. The first one, he was just like... He was the reluctant hero who clearly... And I know I said it, and it sounds offensive, but I'm pretty sure the guy has Asperger's, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're going for.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because he can't even look people in the eye. Like, there's something going on there.
That's true.
He's disconnected. And that's not an insult, it's just the character.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that's great. There's millions of people in the world that are going to be able to see this guy become a hero.
Right.
And he's just not... He's not one you would ever expect.
Right.
And now he's just shooting wizard rays, whatever. There's no beasts. No, like, his main ability is just gone. It's like having Terminator 5, and he just, stares at everybody until they cry. Stupid.
Sorry.
It's okay. It was a stupid point, but
no,
the movie was.
It sounds like it's definitely not worth watching.
Well, you have to though, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
You have to wait for Netflix or whatever, wherever they show Warner Brothers films now.
Sure.
God
HBO.
knows. HBO,
something.
right? Because all this does is set up the next 5. Apparently there's 5 more movies.
Oh, there's 5? I thought this was going to be like a 3.
No.
Man.
They're going full past The Hobbit with it. They're like land speed record for setting up. And that's why this movie has nothing happen. And I think she made the first one. Mm-hmm. And I think you're kind of right. And then they said, hey, guess what? There's 6 more. She's like, well, there goes that outline I had.
Right.
But let me throw all this nonsense together that makes no sense.
Or maybe they decided this was like supposed to be like the second movie was, and the third movie was supposed to be one movie, and they just really like, or who knows what. They could have stretched the story out, rearranged a few things. It's hard to say. But I think probably it sounds like they failed horribly at this. So, not recommending Fantastic Beasts.
No.
Go see Overlord.
Go see Overlord.
It's wonderful. But let's talk about some stuff that just recently came out. So, Fallout 76. We're moving all over the timeline.
Speaking of dumpster fires.
Dumpster fires. So it is not good.
It is exactly what people predicted, and it's almost, I've never seen something created like what is it, self-fulfilling prophecy,
right?
So much as Fallout,
right?
76, because it was just, they announced it and people said, dear God, don't let it be a survival game. Don't let it be a multiplayer online survival game. And then they were like, hey guys, it's a multiplayer online survival game, but don't worry, we're going to make it good. And they didn't.
They didn't.
They did not make it good.
They failed.
They managed to destroy a beloved IP. And this is Bethesda, who are normally unapproachable. Like, they're normally, you can find so many glitches in their games, but it does not matter because they put out a great product.
Right.
And they're normally willing to take great risks.
Right.
But they have this thing that they do, or used to, where they won't put a product out unless it is 100% something that they think is going to be great.
Right.
And you see that, I've seen that in the past with the game Prey.
Right.
So, Prey 2 was a thing that was happening. They had a game called Prey on 360. It was a launch title.
Yeah.
We play a Native American guy, and his girlfriend gets abducted by aliens or whatever. Then they were making a second one, and they had full gameplay demo. Like, they had all sorts of other stuff. Like, not downloaded. Like, you couldn't play it, but, like,
right.
People had tried it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this beautiful game, and then they scrapped it because they didn't think it was going to live up to what they thought it should be.
Yeah.
And instead, they put out another Prey. They just reinvented the whole thing, and that's not cheap.
Right. To go and spend more money on something you thought you'd be able to sell. You're definitely losing money on that.
And they could have sold that Prey too. It looked great.
Right.
I guess just something was wrong with the worlds or whatever.
They weren't happy with it.
So they put out a different product.
Wasn't good enough.
And instead they make other games like Dishonored, and they made the new Prey, the reboot, whatever, and they were beautiful, great games. Like completely different from each other. Mm-hmm. Aside from some stealth sneaking mechanics.
Okay.
Wolfenstein and Doom, and they've been putting out all these great products, and then they did wrong. They put out Fallout 76. They could do no wrong, and then they did really wrong.
Right.
And it was quite clearly one person's vision. It had to be.
Right.
Because they've been creating this Fallout world for 20-something years.
And it is a beloved. Like, that's the whole thing. They were banking on, like, how much people love Fallout. Because it's been going on forever. Like, back when it was just, like, an overview, like, it was an isometric view, like, game. Like, it wasn't, like, a first-person, third-person, anything.
No, that happened, I think, with 3. Was the first time.
Yeah, but the first ones were very, like, it has been a long, like, developed, like, IP. And to let your fans down in such a big way, especially to something that's tied into the lore of Fallout, I think that's really bad for them.
And I think the problem was they were afraid to mess with the lore of Fallout.
Right.
Because they made it be the first vault that opens. And this sounds dumb, but if you guys aren't familiar with the lore of Fallout, and I'll make this quick.
Right.
Some stuff happens with the Russians.
Yes.
Communism in general, depending. And they nukes go off.
Right.
The world gets messed up. And people, they go into these vaults underground. Fallout 76 is the first vault that opens. Or Vault 76, sorry.
Right.
This is the first vault that opens in whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody above ground is dead except for, like, robots and monsters.
Right.
But the problem with everybody above ground being dead except for robots and monsters is that there's no NPCs to communicate with in a role-playing game.
Yes.
So, what's one of the first role-playing games you think you can remember playing? Maybe Zelda?
Probably Zelda. Probably one of the earlier Final Fantasies.
Okay. So, do you remember the iconic line from Zelda? It's dangerous to go alone. Here, take this.
Right.
Imagine if that was an audio log.
Yes.
Or a robot. And that's just such a huge difference. Going into different areas and interacting with a robot that just serves to buy and sell stuff.
Right.
Or listen to an audio log while your friends are ranting and raving in the background or singing. And people in the rest of the lobby. Because if you're playing and you're not in a party, right, you hear everybody communicating. So it's just all of the worst. All of the jokes that have always been about playing games online, like,
yeah,
you know, kids yelling at their mom yelling at kids to clean their rooms, not taking out
Mom,
the trash.
I'm playing a game.
Bad music, just everything is there, and the entire world is destroyed by that.
Because you're trying to listen to what the game is actually trying to tell you something, and you're hearing, like, it's lunchtime, Timmy, turn off your system and come downstairs.
Right, but usually with more potty mouth attached.
Yeah.
But also, Fallout, the world is built around loneliness and isolation.
Yeah.
In this wasteland. And they call it the wasteland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the wasteland should be something that's not filled with lunatics jumping around, emoting. You know what I mean? It doesn't fit this world.
Yeah, it should feel emptier.
One of the first outfits you get is a party hat. You can wear a party. So there's...
Whose party?
Dozens of people. Well, it's the Reclamation Day, they call it. Where you go, where you first leave the vault. So there's people... Tons of them in the first area, just roaming around wearing party hats or giant Vault Boy masks and outfits where he's dressed as Uncle Sam because that comes with the $90 version.
Gotcha.
It's gross and stupid and doesn't belong. It doesn't fit that world. The same as, it doesn't fit in something like Skyrim didn't do that. They had the Elder Scrolls Online, but they kept it where it made sense. There weren't people running around in like blinged out outfits. It didn't look stupid. This looks stupid. It looks stupid. It feels stupid. It's glitchy as hell. The servers suck. The gun combat is terrible.
Right.
And the monsters are idiotic. To which they sometimes just end up in T-poses and can't move, and they just run at you, and they can't attack you. Or they're attacking you and you can't see them. Your bullets, when you're shooting your gun, sometimes you'll hear it a second later. It's like, pop.
Oh, really?
Right. So
like that much of a delay.
Yeah, and it's terrible.
Yeah, for those of you listening, Bob made a gun motion towards me.
Yes.
And when he made the pop noise.
It was a threat. Here, I'll do it this way. So this is the sound of the gun being shot, and then pop is when you hear it.
Right.
And that's dumb.
Yeah.
It's to have it launched like that. And Bethesda, the one thing they're known for, aside from making a good product,
right,
is glitches.
Right.
Everybody knows Bethesda glitches. We have a running joke, me and a couple friends, when we play together, where we call it Bethesdaing up a mountain. Because you just keep jumping at the side of it until eventually you break whatever barrier is locked in, and you can just go up the mountain. And that's like Skyrim, Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, and even Oblivion. Like, you just kept hopping, and eventually you'd get over an obstacle.
No matter what.
I mean, there were some you just couldn't, but I found my character sometimes, in Skyrim especially, where I just got locked into something that I couldn't get out of.
Right.
Because I just kept hopping, trying to get over the stupid mountain, because you don't want to... It'll take you 10 minutes to walk around it, or 30 seconds to keep hopping until you get over it.
Gotcha. So, Fallout 76, not a recommend.
No, there's a reason it was half price a week after it came out.
Yeah, so they've realized that there's been a big mistake with the game, so they dropped price, so that's kind of like blood in the water.
It went back up, though.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, the game will be completed next year sometime. Maybe it'll be good.
Yeah.
Maybe when they add in the NPC DLC.
Alright, we'll see.
It's better than horse armor.
Okay.
Because they're famous for that, too.
Right.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion, the first one on 360, one of the first microtransactions added to a game was horse armor that did nothing. It just made your horse have armor.
Well, that's super cool.
I think it was like $7 or something.
All horses should have armor.
Should they?
Yes.
Not in Red Dead.
Protect your horse. You don't want to get your horse get hurt?
Or just reload a save if he dies. That's what I do.
Yeah?
Yeah. Then he's back. It's like he never left.
That's funny. So just some other stuff we're going to quick mention here. It has been a little time since we recorded, so forgive us if we're a little bit sluggish. Just Stan Lee, the great Stan Lee, Stan the Man, he has passed away, 95. I posted this on my Instagram, a little picture I had with him. I took it at San Diego Comic-Con in 2003. Actually, I had not planned on meeting him. It was just kind of like a weird random thing. I was going to a Jack Kirby panel where it was, I believe, Michael Chabon, a few other older artists who knew Jack Kirby and stuff. And then just all of a sudden in the middle, moderator comes in and it's ladies and gentlemen, this is unexpected, but Stan Lee is here. And Stan Lee comes in and he just and he's just Stan. He's just exactly what you expect. 100% just that kind of charismatic, kind of just amazing guy. Who he comes in and he's like, Michael Chabon, you're a Pulitzer Prize winner. I would have them say that before every time I walk into a room. I'm Pulitzer Prize winning Michael Chabon. So he gives this whole stuff, and he does talk about Jack. And I know that there's been a lot of stuff said about who created what, and a lot of that stuff does go back and forth on that. But there is like an undeniable part of what Stan Lee was, and it was that he was very like inclusive. He always had time for fans, and nothing showed me more than that. Than after the panel had let out, he actually was meeting with people, and I thought like I had actually caught him at like a bad time. I was like, Stan, can I take a picture? And he said, no, wait. And at first I thought he was like, he had to like go somewhere, but he didn't have his glasses on, and that's kind of like one of his signature things. So he's like, and he like throws on his glasses, and he's like, all right, go for it, and like just super exuberant and stuff. So that just kind of showed me like what kind of person he was. Just like super amazing like guy that just like always had time for a fan, and really helped like kind of like bring this geek culture around and stuff like that. So 95, you can't get much better than that. And saw his like stuff become like what he thought it was going to be. You have anything? Sorry, I just got.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, he's responsible for so much. I think joy in the world. It's such a shame.
Yeah.
There's so many kids who have things they look up to because he created them. Yeah. And it's just. But there's a lot to be grateful for, and he did live a long time. So it's just it's sad.
Yeah. No, it is. But sorry to leave it on a sad note.
There's one more bit of sad that just got announced.
Wow. Oh, wow. That is... Okay. So, breaking news. And I half thought this might happen, but I really didn't expect it. So, Daredevil is canceled on Netflix. We just got you got an alert through your feed?
Well, I got a text.
Yeah.
That said it, and then, I just looked it up, and wow.
Wow, that is, speaking of a Stan Lee creation.
But it could make sense, because that could be moving to the Disney streaming service.
Okay.
Because that's their thing, right? They're launching.
Yeah, that is kind of like their thing, but I'm just like, I thought that that's so weird.
Do they want to compete with somebody else? They probably don't, right? So now they can just bring Daredevil over. Yeah,
but so is Jessica Jones getting brought up? Like,
I don't know yet. This just happened. This was a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and I had kind of like wondered because the fact that, all right, like Iron Fist, I kind of saw that maybe coming because it wasn't as successful. Luke Cage really surprised me. But I figured, they'll stick with, their first two really big, like, successful things, which were Daredevil and Jessica Jones. But now it just seems like, I think that it's like Netflix doesn't want to pay out that money to Disney at all, which is strange. Because I'm pretty sure, like, next month, Avengers Infinity War is going to be on Netflix. Which I think that's so weird for them to do that. But,
maybe they'll bring it over. Maybe they'll ignore it. Maybe they'll restart the character. I
don't know.
Is it not the look they want to have competing with themselves? Because
I don't know.
Their stuff, what do they have on there so far? They have the Loki thing.
They're having the Loki show.
Which wouldn't be hyper-violent.
No. Well, we don't know what kind of Loki they're going to do. They're going to do Winter Soldier Falcon show. Scarlet Witch Vision show. So maybe they are thinking of, we'll bring over the Defenders. Because they had talked about that they had season 4 and 5 planned for Daredevil.
So maybe they do.
I don't know.
Just don't want it on there.
That's so weird. But it's just like, how does that deal work? Does that mean they have to renegotiate all the actors? Like, how does... I mean, if they're paying for movie stars, I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't mind, like, paying...
I'm sure they can afford it. I don't know. I'm sure this service will do well.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't like this new future where we pay for everything... Separately.
Yeah. I knew that it was eventually going to happen to a lot of the bigger networks. I I didn't know like how this was really going to work with Netflix though, because it seemed like Netflix had like so many shows.
I think hopefully this stuff just fails and they eventually move back to just a few core services.
Yeah, but I don't know, because this kind of also explains why Netflix has so many deals right now with they have Mark Millar's, like all of his stuff now is owned by, and even like his new projects are
Netflix,
and Netflix is publishing comics, which is so strange. So I don't know. That kind of threw me when you threw that out. I was like, oh, Daredevil just got canceled.
It's literally a conversation going on my watch right now.
Yeah. So that is really weird. Out of nowhere, but I have a feeling. Is there any other shows that are on? Like, so they should
Punisher, right?
Punisher, yeah. And I think they finished filming Jessica Jones season 3, right?
Makes sense.
Season
so now
3.
It's Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Daredevil.
Those are just...
Daredevil's their most successful.
Yeah.
So it has to be that they're ending all of them.
It probably is a pretty much, they should just say, like, Jessica Jones after this season is done. Punisher probably after this season is done.
And then they're just moving wherever.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they'd continue... They could. Those two are separate enough that they could.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would.
And it seems strange because Disney, I figured this was going to be a way that they could do their violenter shows, but I think it's also like Netflix doesn't want to pay the money to Disney, because I think it's like that's the thing. Netflix has to pay a lot of money to Disney to use those characters.
And could it be that they see them as competition now, so they run out?
Yeah.
Especially if they're not going to get their movies anymore.
Yeah, so we'll see how that like all goes. But yeah, that's strange.
It is very.
Yeah, it's a weird note but breaking news, right there. Daredevil season 3 was the end. Have you even watched Daredevil season 3?
Nope. Then now I really don't care.
You should though. And actually, I can kind of tell you this. If it ended with season 3, I could see that.
Okay.
I think it could actually, because it kind of ties up a lot of stuff that had happened. They have a great new character that they introduce, and I think if they ended right there, it probably would make the most sense. I actually thought, like, when they said that there was going to be a season 4 and 5, I was like, you don't really need to. Like, you kind of tied up everybody's, like, stories. Like, it kind of gives you a good Karen, Foggy, and Matt ending, and it gives you, like, you know, what's going on with the Kingpin, too. So it's just, like, it's very well done. Like, I really like, I have to say, season 3 was 1,000 times better than season 2. Like, season 2's beginning was great with the Punisher and stuff, but then, like, ninjas were uncool, and that's just, I don't know how you ruin ninjas, but you can do it, apparently.
They did.
Yeah. And Elektra, you ruined Elektra, which I was really mad about, because I love Elektra. Don't try to make my assassin good. That's what she is. She's an assassin.
Maybe I'll watch it when I'm done with Married with Children on Hulu.
Okay. When you get around to it.
They put all the seasons there, Tim.
I know.
All of the seasons. That's a show you guys should watch.
I'm surprised you don't own... Do you own all the seasons?
Yeah.
And yet you're still watching them on Hulu?
I am.
You can watch them anywhere.
I could watch them anywhere.
I feel like we're advertising for Hulu right now.
Yes. Hulu.com/trial. That's probably the site.
That's right. If you put in the code Precarious Pixels, you get 10% off. That's not true. Don't do that. But Hulu, sponsor us.
Yeah.
Sponsor us.
Married with Children.
Yeah. And Netflix sponsor us. And what's the Disney app? Disney
Anywhere.
Is it called Disney Anywhere?
I don't know.
I forget what they actually named it. Or Disney.
Mickey.
It's called D Infinity or something like that.
I hope so. I hope it's Disney Infinity 4.0.
Infinity and Beyond. Oh, a new trailer for we haven't talked about Toy Story 4.
That's happening, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought 3 was supposed to be the perfect ending.
I thought so too. But then they showed a weird little fork guy that they're hanging out with. Like a literal fork with a smiley face drawn on it.
That explains so much about the new Kingdom Hearts.
Is there a fork person in it?
There's a Toy Story level.
That makes sense.
There's also a Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
It is all of the Pixar.
Yeah, because people love Pixar.
Yeah, but, you know, they could do superheroes.
They could.
They won't.
Oh, you never know.
Nah.
I think that would be well, actually, isn't Square doing an Avengers game? It's never coming out?
That's something. That's
That's never going to come out?
The Mystery Avengers game?
Yeah.
The one games where... as a service game?
Yes, who knows. But, wrapping up, hopefully we're not going to get another message here in like 2 seconds. Say goodbye to Stan. Daredevil, I'm sure, will continue on in some way or another. I'm sure that's a very well done show. I think that would be a big mistake to have it end. But it makes sense that they would end, because if they're bringing TV shows over, I have a feeling those TV shows, and I'm doing quotation marks, are probably going to be like miniseries, like very small like miniseries. They're going to do like one-offs to kind of like entice people in, but they actually need shows.
But it worked really well for Agent Carter.
Yeah.
So they could.
I wish they'd bring that back.
They might.
Be amazing.
I'm sure she's down.
What's she doing? What is she doing?
I don't know. I saw her in something.
She's going to be in the next Avengers.
Again?
Time travel.
Apparently, so is somebody else.
A lot of somebody else's are going to be in it.
Well, somebody else that's dead. Somebody was on the set.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you a hint. He kicks ass.
I figured he would be.
Yeah, apparently he was on the set. They're not saying whether or not he's in it, but...
Could be.
But it's weird, because now the Russo brothers are saying Loki's definitely dead.
Yeah.
But...
they're going to do a TV show.
So is he.
I think there's a lot of misdirects being thrown, too.
Yeah, and if he's dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Loki's dead.
Right.
Then everybody that's dead before him is dead.
Right.
But then why would...
that means all the
would be there. Why would
all the Asgardians are dead? Yeah, it does... I don't know how it's going to work. But maybe that's like her... when she... I don't know. When Scarlet Witch wishes him back or something like that.
Better bring back Korg.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm kind of hoping that they eventually do the Asgardians on Earth storyline from Thor. Siege.
I hope they call it Thor Ragnarok and Roll.
Ragnarok and Roll. Forever. Alright, but, so we're wrapping up. You can always check us out, of course, at Precarious Pixels. You can find us on the Instagrams. I'm at Tim Martinek.
I'm at Bob_Martin, I believe. And
your Twitter is?
At Martin_Bob. Marton.
Yeah. Almost forgot it there. You can find us, of course, on our YouTube channel, Precarious Pixels, Spreaker, Stitcher, and review us on iTunes. We'd love to hear from you guys. And anything, of course, you do, tag us Precarious Pixels. So we'll see you next week, and hopefully no more Netflix shows get canceled in the meantime. All right, so I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. To do a little redesigning with us, you can find Bob at Martin, MARTON_BOB, on Twitter. And you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek, all one word, TIMMARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists like doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.